Good afternoon, everyone. This is Smita, your Community Life Services Director, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Dale Slawicki. He's our resident in Gables East, and welcome, Dale.
Thank you.
So, Dale, how long have you lived here at Southport Square?
It'll be 4 years, December 15th.
Wow, so that's great. 4 years. So, how have these 4 years been?
Been real nice as far as I was concerned.
So, where did you move from?
I moved from Links Edge in Deep Creek.
Oh, okay. So, how did you decide to choose Southport Square?
Well, we visited certain places, and we thought that this was the best that we'd seen.
Right.
So this is the reason that I settled here.
Okay, that's great. We're very glad and happy that you selected Southport Square.
Thank you.
So let's go back in time. Where did you come from originally? Where
I
were
came
you
from
born?
a little city called River Rouge in Michigan.
And how long did you live there?
I lived there till after I got out of the service.
Oh, so did you grow up there?
Yes,
Right
I
there?
grew up there.
Okay. And what was it like then?
It was a sports town, really, and that's why I probably became interested in being a coach.
That's awesome. So, Dale, what is your educational background?
I graduated from at the time was Michigan Normal Teachers College in Ypsilanti, Michigan. It's since then been changed to Eastern Michigan University.
Oh,
And then I received a Bachelor of Science degree from Michigan Normal at the time. And then I went to University of Michigan for my master's degree.
okay. So, what was your profession then?
My profession was teaching at the time.
Oh, so did you teach at the same university?
No, I didn't teach at the university. I just attended the universities. I lived in the River Rouge and commuted the last 2 years because I was engaged and to be married, so I commuted back and forth.
I know that you were a football coach, correct?
Right.
So that must be a very exciting thing.
Oh, yeah.
So can you share more about your experience being a coach?
Well, some of them were comical, like a couple of kids that I had. We'd call practice at a certain time, and they were usually late because they had dogs to take care of. And it became a problem.
Right.
And before I became a football coach, the first head coaching job I had was being the baseball coach.
Oh.
And I coached that for 4 years. And I had success with that. I was runner-up for the state championship 2 years in a row, the last 2 years.
Wow.
Then from there, the last year that I coached baseball, one of the kids suggested that maybe we should go someplace during Easter vacation and prepare ourselves for the baseball season.
Right.
And I said, well, okay, what about Florida? They said, okay. So they started, they raised all their money. The mothers chipped in for bake sales and that. And we ended up in Daytona Beach.
Oh.
I contacted the Cleveland Indians. And they said, yeah, come on down.
Wow.
So we came into Daytona and we had a hotel or motel right on the beach. And the baseball diamond wasn't too far away. It was the Cleveland Indians at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they turned around. We got out to the ballpark. They had a net all set up. They had baseballs for us. The kids ate with the baseball players at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They had a regular concession stand right in the middle of 3 or 4 fields. And we ate right there and then came back after 1 week in Florida.
Mm-hmm. So I believe that must have been a great experience for all of you, right?
Some of those kids had never been out of Melvindale at the time where I was coaching.
Mm-hmm. So then when did you transition in being a football coach?
Well, I wanted to be a football coach all the time. I played high school football, and then I went into the service, and I hurt my knee in the service.
Oh.
And consequently, I couldn't play anymore after that. So
Right.
I went to coaching instead.
Mm-hmm. So how long were you a football coach? How many years did you coach?
I coached for 45 years.
Wow.
I taught school for 35. Well, teaching football and teaching school, you still have to teach no matter what.
Right. So are there any like special experiences, memories, something that was really memorable being a football coach?
Oh, let me see. I'd have to, you make me think back 75 years. You know, that's a long time.
45 years being a coach. Wow. That is really amazing. So what really stands out in these 45 years?
The time that I spent coaching and teaching was,
Right.
to me, was a pleasure, and I would do it all over again.
Right. How did the children there, how did they perceive it?
We had good relationships.
Right.
I had a very fine relationship with the kids. And
Because the kids always look up to their coach, being a
Right.
mentor to them. So while you were their coach, what did you see with their progress? How well did they do? Did they win any tournaments? And
right, baseball, we went into the state tournament. We
Right.
were runners up for the state championship for 2 years in a row. And never had the good luck of winning a state championship.
right.
But
What about-
football, the number of championships that I didn't win
This-
was that the staff,
Right.
I had a real fine staff at both schools that I taught. The good being around these kids and that kind of makes you a kid yourself.
Right.
And these kids really, I think, thought well of me because I hear from them every now and then. They come down here to see me.
Oh, wow.
And fact is, one was just here a couple of weeks ago and then went back up to Michigan.
Wow.
And I keep in touch with quite a few from both schools that I coach football at.
Wow, that's amazing. Dale, I remember in the past, once we were chatting with each other, you mentioned that a stadium was named after you.
Right,
Could you tell us more about it?
right. About 5 years ago, I hadn't really thought about it, and they had named the gymnasium after the basketball coach. The baseball coach was the same. They named the baseball field after him, and it just so happened that the name of the name that they had for the gymnasium and the baseball field and myself were all from the same high school in Michigan,
Okay.
and lived in River Rouge at the time.
So, I can see that plaque right here in front of me. And I see that it reads that you'll won 130 games and 15 league championships. So that is really cool. And it also reads that your leadership set the tone for winning.
Well, I had a real good staff, and I had a good administration that were kind of like sports,
Right.
and they kind of went along. And it wasn't only me; it was the staff that I had
That's true.
that really made up the football team.
Right. But that is really cool. Like to win 130 games and 15 league championships.
Right.
I mean, I can just imagine what a wonderful team that you put together and really led them and have these wonderful values.
Well, it wasn't like once again. It wasn't
Right.
it wasn't me.
It was your whole team,
It
and
was
that's
the whole staff that we
right.
had, and the administration was very good about letting me kind of find if they had an opening. We would put a coach in there.
Right. That is
And it really
great.
worked out real good.
So, Dale, when was the last you visited the stadium?
When they inaugurated the stadium to me, is when the last time I visited only once.
Oh, okay.
That was when they
So that was in 2015, right?
Right.
October 2015.
right.
So when they called you, did they call you or send you a letter?
They
To-
called me.
So what did you feel at that moment?
Well, I felt that probably maybe I'm a little wrong with this, but about time they gave me something. No, I felt very good about having that
That's
named
awesome.
after me. I thought it was a real important thing.
I agree. I mean, it's such an honor. It really is. So, Dale, I really love the plaque that they dedicated to you. And these were the pictures of the stadium and you receiving the plaque, right? So,
Right.
So you want to share something more about
Yes, I would please. I received the plaque the night that they dedicated the stadium to me. But the dedication, the pictures there of the stadium were put together by a gentleman who played for me also. And he was he went to Wayne State, came back, became a teacher at Melvindale High School, and was our statistician when we played football. And he played for me, and unfortunately, he passed away.
Oh,
But he passed away because of the COVID.
oh,
He called me up. This was really I never heard of this before, but he called me up on a Friday night, and he told me that he had contacted the disease.
oh,
And I told him, well, they'll probably take care of it for you. And he said he was going into the hospital. So I called him the next night. And he told me, he said he never had such a bad night as he had that night. He said of pain and anything else. And I said, I didn't know that the disease caused that much pain. And he said he was really in pain. And I said, I'll call you tomorrow and see how you are. So I called him the next day. He went in Friday. We talked on Saturday. He passed away on Sunday from the disease.
oh, I'm so sorry.
And we'd been talking together probably once a month. All the time that I've been away from
Right.
around Melvindale.
Wow. And the stadium really, Dale, looks really awesome.
Well, when I left there, the stadium was a regular grass stadium. The press box, you can't see it, but it's just
Right.
off and up above the stand or the field there. But nevertheless, when I haven't seen it yet with all the carpeting on it as it is there, and it looks like a real good stadium if I could get to see it.
I know. Wow.
But I've only seen it through the pictures that
Oh,
the fellow that passed away
Right,
sent
right.
me.
oh, wow. So Dale, we just saw the plaque that said All-Star Award. What was that?
The way that was brought about was the state athletic association has a all-star game at the Michigan State University every year, and it's the western part of the state against the eastern part of the state. And I was fortunate enough to be the coach of the eastern part of the state, and unfortunately, we didn't win the ball game.
Right.
I can remember that.
Wow.
But some of these kids went on to be, that's all high school. They went on to different colleges around the state and around the country.
Wow. Very nice.
We spent a week with these players here, visiting all the different hospitals around.
Wow.
Plus, they practiced to a certain degree,
Right.
and it was really a pleasure with all these kids. They were top kids from all different areas,
Wow.
and I really enjoyed it. They brought my wife up at the time,
Right.
and she spent the week with us, and but that was at the Michigan State University.
Oh, awesome. So Dale, we just saw a couple of plaques that said Hall of Fame, Coach of the Year. Would you like to share something about these two?
Yes, the Coach of the Year is really that's an exceptional thing because you're the coach of the
Right.
actually the state of Michigan. The Hall of Fame was the year that I think that was the year that I went into the Michigan Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that was in 1986.
Right. And going there and being associated with the other coaches around the state,
Right.
high school coaches, and meeting. Well, I had met Coach Hembecker from the University of Michigan previous to that, but they had the head coach of the University of Oklahoma
Oh.
was also there at the Michigan Hall of Fame dinner and that.
Oh.
And so I had the pleasure of bringing my wife and my father into the dedication.
Oh. That's awesome. Wow, Dale. That must have been a moment for your parents. How did they feel?
Oh, my dad, he was overjoyed about meeting Coach Hembecker to begin with. My wife had been associated with my brother-in-law, or her sister rather, was married to a Michigan All-American who was an All-American football player for the University of Michigan, and later on coached 5 years there. And then he coached 35 years at Penn State with Joe Paterno. And I got to meet all these different coaches through him, being one of the assistants at Penn State. and he was an All-American at Michigan. His brother was captain and All-American, but they were all from River Rouge, and we all knew one another. So it was really a good reunion with all these people.
Nice. Very nice. So Dale, we just saw a couple of pictures. I believe you are with your team, and then there's a picture of you by yourself. Can you tell us more about these pictures?
Yes, the picture of the team was a baseball team. That was my first head coaching job. I had coached previous to that as an assistant freshman coach at Eastern Michigan University.
Right.
I coached in the Canadian League in Canada for 1 year,
Wow.
and this was my first head
That
coaching
was your
job.
first head coaching
And the
job.
kids got together and we went to Florida for a week, stayed there, and then came back. And
Oh,
we're treated very nice by the Greyhound bus line, really.
very nice.
And the other picture was just a picture that was taken out in the field, and I don't know exactly what
Right.
it was for, because I looked real young there, and I'm not.
You look good. That's a nice picture of you. You look like a real good athlete right
Well,
there.
thank you.
Really enjoying your sports, you know.
That's a little trophy that I received for being the Downriver Coach of the Year. And Downriver is the Detroit River runs not too far from us here, and consequently, with the record that I had that year, I was nominated as the Coach of the Year for that Downriver certain section of the state.
Wow, very nice. Well, Dale, that's quite an achievement. All these plaques and trophies that you achieved over the period of time.
But I had many more trophies and
Really?
plaques than that.
Wow.
Just that getting them down here was a difficult situation because we came down here by automobile.
Right.
And consequently, I couldn't carry all these different trophies, which I had, which were trophies for athletics besides golf. And I just turned around and I had probably, maybe I'll just go with a bushel basket full of these trophies that I had.
That is
And
so
I
cool.
more or less got rid of them, gave them to different associations.
Wow.
And I think they just took the nameplate off and gave trophies for different things for kids,
Oh.
so on.
That's such a nice thing to do too.
Yeah.
Wow, very nice. So Dale, didn't you serve in the military?
Yes, I went in the service in December 13th of 1943,
Wow,
and I came out in 1946.
wow.
I've served, I took basic training at Biloxi, Mississippi. From there I went to Richmond Army Air Base. And from there I went overseas for, I think it was 7 months.
Oh,
I went to Germany, England, France, and Germany.
oh. So you were during the World War II, correct?
Yes,
Right. So which branch did you
I
serve?
was Air Force,
Air Force.
United States Air Force.
So how was that experience?
To me it was a good experience. Actually, it was real good because I got a GI Bill. I didn't know it was after I got out of, so I went to school under the GI Bill.
Nice.
So that was nice.
That was
But I
good.
served, I landed in England. From England we went to France, and in France we moved our way up into Germany.
Right.
And then we were all set to go to Japan. In fact, we were at Brennerhaven in Germany, and the war in Japan ended.
Oh,
So
okay.
the boats were there, so they brought us home, I guess, with it.
Oh,
But I enjoyed. I was kind of in the back. We gave serviced the Air Force plus the Third Army,
oh,
and is what we did. That
Right,
that was the what we did mostly over there. I was a ground crew in the Air Force.
wow. Okay. Did you not go on the honor flight?
Yes, we. I forget when that was.
That was like couple of years
A
ago?
couple of years ago, right? And there weren't too many that
Right.
really went on it,
Right.
but enjoyed it very much. That was the first time I really got to see Washington.
Oh, really?
It was, and I saw all the different monuments that were there.
Even Arlington is so...
Honoring all the different service people.
So how was that experience?
It was, to me, it was a good experience because a couple of my friends had been killed in the service,
Right.
and they were part of this
Right.
service.
Right. That's good. I'm glad you got an opportunity to go on the honor flight. And I know they do such an amazing job and really, really go out of their way to honor all you guys. And that is such an incredible service.
Yes, and they do everything for you. Everything. You can't do anything yourself.
Because you guys deserve it.
Well,
All
thank
that you did and all your service, and I think the volunteers who really go out to, it's like it's an honor for them to
Right.
be able to take you around.
It was a really a great experience for me.
Right.
Once again, I'd never been to Washington
Correct.
in itself.
Wow.
I'd been through it, but just
Right.
to get back and forth from Florida to Michigan or
Right,
someplace. But it was really an honor to go. The fact is, walking down one of the monuments, one gentleman saw me as a World War II veteran, which there aren't too many left.
Right.
And he came over, and pretty soon I had a crowd around me
Wow.
honoring the veteran from the Second World War.
Wow. Very nice.
While there, we were, the lady that was my server moved me around, and we'd stopped in front of one of the memorials. I can't tell you, I forget which one.
Right.
But anyway, this woman came over and said that her husband had been in World War II, and she didn't think I was old enough to be there. She thought I was from either South Korea.
Oh, Vietnam. Something like that.
No, I told her I was World War II, and actually she had tears in her eyes.
Wow.
And it was a real experience.
Right. How beautiful. Dale, you have shared such interesting stories today. It's really, I feel it was amazing just listening to you talk. Now let's talk a little bit about your life, moving here to Florida, moving to Southport Square. What are your hobbies?
Probably the only hobby that I had was golf.
Oh, okay.
And I enjoyed golfing.
So did you play around in one
yeah.
of these golf courses?
Right, I played all different golf courses around in this area.
You did.
Right. Well, probably we got them for nothing to begin with because I was working either at Charlotte Country Club or Deep Creek.
Oh, nice. So what did you do? What kind of work?
Well, I worked inside the pro shop. I worked as a around the course to keep them moving, and that was about the end of it right there.
Well, I know. I know that you had donated some wonderful golf clubs for our yard sale, as
Right.
well as the wind chime, the golf wind chime for our silent auction. They were really good items, and the people who got them were very happy with it.
Well, I'm happy that they got them because I enjoyed them, believe me.
Right.
And, I enjoyed playing golf. I didn't start playing until 1950 when I got
Oh.
out of college.
Wow.
They talked me into going, and a gentleman around there was a substitute teacher at our place, was a very good golfer. His wife had been the Michigan amateur champ, and
Wow.
he taught her golf. So he got together with me, and he tried to teach me to golf, which he
Wow.
succeeded to a degree. But I bought a net to put in the wrestling room,
Oh.
and we put it in there, and we would go in on a Saturday morning. I had the keys for the gymnasium, and we would go in there on a Saturday morning. We'd start golfing about maybe 9, 10 o'clock, and I'd lock up about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Then we'd come back on Sunday, and after church, we had the pro ball games. We'd bring a small television, watch the professional football, and hit golf balls again.
Wow.
And he would try to teach me the proper way to hit the golf ball and so on. But it was a good, we spent a lot of time hitting the golf ball.
Oh, nice.
And I got a little proficient about it. Enjoyed playing it.
That's great. And I'm glad you enjoyed the golf courses right here
Oh yeah,
around
that's
and worked there.
Port Charlotte, when we first got here, was really that was the best course around.
Nice. So Dale, now let's talk a little bit about your life here at Southport Square. So how do you spend your time?
Well, mostly while watching the television, and I'll get the shoot 'em ups, and then the other time is I visit Donna's apartment, and we go over. She likes to look at certain types of movies on the TV, so we watch the movies that she likes. When she comes down here, she watches the movies that I like. So she just watches the shoot 'em ups in one place and the love stories in the other places.
So just so that all our audience know, Donna Sweetie, she is also our resident and she lives in Gables East too, right? She lives on
She
the
lives
fifth
right
floor.
up above me.
Right.
And,
So were you instrumental in Donna moving here at Southport?
well, I was hoping, I think I did for, but she makes up her own mind as to what she wants to do.
Nice. But it's always good, to have both of you together. That's
Oh,
really
yeah.
very nice.
When I have to go out to the doctors or anything, she's always there, usually
Right.
with me.
You can just tell how much you both care about each other.
Right.
And I think it's really good.
Best part of being here really is that every Friday or Thursday we attend the happy hour. Usually she likes music real well.
Right.
And I wish that I could dance, but I can't anymore. So we visit that together, and I enjoy the music, and she enjoys the music.
Right.
And
also you exercise, don't you?
oh yeah,
In the
she
fitness center?
kind of pushes me towards the weight room.
All right. I'm
And,
glad.
I work out there probably. I see you as
Right,
well as
we-
her
we see
about
each
3
other.
days a week.
Nice.
I work out down there.
I'm glad Donna does that. I want her to keep it up, get you going, keep you moving.
And
Very nice.
she goes to a lot of classes around
Right.
here.
There is one person I can just say who loves every class and is so dedicated and sincere about it is Donna.
Right, I agree.
Wow. And I know she loves to play some pickleball too. And the best part is when I walk several times, I see her picking the leaves, trimming, doing so many things around the landscape. And whenever I say, she loves to do it very quietly. That's her own little gardening, and that's so
Right.
cool.
She loves to do gardening.
Yeah,
And one of her things is
I know.
keeping everything in shape.
right.
Which she does. She
She
kind of
does
cleans
such
up
a
on the
great
place.
job.
Right.
And she cleans for hours.
Right.
She
3
works
to
so
4 hours
hard.
at
And-
a time.
And even during this sale that we had for a fundraiser for Alzheimer's, Donna works so hard. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
first off, I can't tell you the amount of stuff she bought down. Bags and bags and bags full of stuff. And I know you participated in it too and pitched in and donated a lot of stuff. I know there are a lot of other residents who donated too, but Donna was there from day one, side by side, pricing everything, not just your stuff, even other residents who had donated, just hours and hours that she put in behind the scene. I mean, that was really amazing.
She's a tough worker, I'll tell you.
She is. I mean,
and things got to be just right, or she goes.
I agree.
Her teaching was the same.
Really. And that's really a good thing, you know. That's when everything turns and ends well. When you really are specific and you do things well and work so hard, you know.
Right.
I mean, you know, we did really well during just the fundraiser itself. We made, you know, $1,080. And I know that, you know, Donna, really, my hat's off to you. She really was there working very, very hard. So, you know, amazing.
Right.
And
she's a tough worker, I'll tell you.
yeah, I mean, look at you, just like you. Look at your background and all the wonderful things that you have done. I mean, she's a good match for you. That is
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, Dale, I know you'll have, you know, did all these special things with Donna. Is there any special moment that you remember?
Yeah, I think the dance class that we had at the, I think it was the cultural center, that we took this dance class.
Oh, really?
Right.
So how was that?
Well, I enjoyed it real well. I had a dance class in school.
Mm-hmm.
I taught phys ed. And I brought in another guy, this golfer that I told you about.
Right.
I brought him in as a teacher, which he was a very good dancer. I'll tell you. He came down here in the wintertime to the Flamingo, and he participated in their dances and their whatever they shows that they put on. And he was really new dancing.
Well, I'm glad you had your one dance lesson with Donna.
Right. And then the dance lesson I had with Donna.
That is great. Very nice. Keep dancing, keep celebrating, keep enjoying life. What an interesting story. A coach for 45 years, a World War II veteran. You have been such a great coach, a mentor. How would you describe your leadership philosophy and style?
Well, starting out, usually being the head coach, you had to kind of coach the other coaches, plus teach the players themselves. I very seldom really yacked at a kid. I kind of patted them on the back, tried to get them going. And I just kept it going like that. And I think I had pretty good success with doing it that way.
Right. That is awesome. Well, I really want to thank you. This has been a wonderful hour just listening to your amazing stories and cherishing your achievements and just this wonderful companionship between you and Donna. Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.